Welcome, everyone, to the Destination Steel Market Analysis by the Indomitable Horizons Fund. My name is Brad Reed. I'm co-founder of Indomitable Horizons Fund, along with my partner, Bijan Rapport. I'm recording a series of videos that show how we do due diligence, specifically how we do due diligence for the Destination Steel. On every deal that we look at, we run it through our filtering process, which we call MURAL. Now, MURAL, M-U-R-A-L, stands for market analysis. That's what this video is. The next video is U for underwriting, then R for risk mitigation, A for alignment, and L for legal. So at our fund, we filter lots and lots of opportunities. Only 5%, maybe less, of the deals that we look at actually pass our filtering process. Many of the deals, like this one, Bijan and I invest our own money into, because if we have money and we're excited about it, we're going to invest in it. And then we offer our investors the opportunity to invest alongside us. Now, our fund is unique because not only do we invest in so many of our opportunities, but we give our investors the opportunity to choose which of the deals that we like that you want to invest in, and how much you want to allocate to each opportunity. So our tagline is we filter, we invest, and then you build your portfolio because you are in control. This is not one of those funds where you wire us money and we invest your money however we see fit. No, no, no. You get to invest your money how you see fit of the opportunities that have already passed our due diligence process. So these 5 videos will show you how we did our due diligence on the Destination Steel. Now, I just recorded the video just for market analysis, and it was 45 minutes. So I'm going to go at a very high level. I'm going to go very fast. If you want more information, you should, right? This is to show you how you can do your own due diligence. And I strongly encourage you to book a meeting if you have not already met with me or Bijan. Scan to the end of the video. There will be a QR code where you can go to a website, indhrs.com/contact, and you can book a meeting on my calendar or on Bijan's calendar. I am going to assume that you have already gotten a preliminary presentation or at least a conversation by us, so you know about this deal, and that'll allow me to move faster and not make this a 45-minute video. I am passionate about this deal. I love this deal. I have put my own money into the deal at 3 different times because it keeps getting better. So for those of you that have ignored that previous advice and want to watch the rest of this video, let me tell you a little bit about the Destination Steel. It is 11 properties across 7 markets in 3 different countries. 3 properties are under construction. 8 properties are operating right now. So this is not a deal where we pool our money and then at some point in the future, we purchase these properties and then we hope we can get our actuals to our projections. No, 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 no. We own these properties right now. Some of these properties we have been running since 2016, and it is August of 2026 right now. So when we show you numbers, those numbers are not always projections. We have actuals. And in fact, we just came out with the Q2 actuals of 2026. So we have those numbers in the deal room. If you have not met with us, you probably don't have access to the deal room. So schedule that meeting. We can show you the deal room and we can give you access to all of the numbers and help explain how we do and did due diligence on the Destination Steel. Since we have been operating these properties for a while, we started the syndication before Araya was completed. Araya is our resort in the Dominican, and also before our glamping resort got rezoned from cloth-covered tents to cabins. Because of that, and because of a few other things, the properties have increased in value 40% since we opened the 506C syndication. We're not going to go back and spend more money redoing the legal structures. We're just going to gift this to our investors. So if you invest today, when you invest, you get the benefit of that 40% unrealized equity right at the start. If you remember from the projections, we are projecting, once we finish the raise, an average over the next 5 years, ramping slowly to higher cash on cash towards the end. But the average number is going to be 19% cash on cash with a 2.89 multiplier over 5 years. That's a 26% internal rate of return. That's a 37% average annualized return, or a 23% annualized rate of return, whichever of those numbers you like. If that's confusing, it's because you haven't met with us and gotten the preliminary conversations. Happy to do that. Book that meeting, indhrs.com/contact. We have 2 levels for investors to come in at. If you come in between $100,000 and $249,000, you get 72% of the distributions. So when we distribute cash or equity, you get 72%, the GP gets 28%. That's kind of the alignment part. The A in MURAL for alignment. We win when you win, not at different times like we've seen on other deals. You also get 10 free stays to enjoy the properties in off-peak periods. This is incredibly useful for us because when you go stay at the property, we ask you, what did you see? Does anything need repaired? How are the operations? Was it clean? We get real-time feedback by you going to stay at the properties. If you invest $250,000 or more, you get an 80% return. By the way, that 19% average cash on cash return and the 2.89 MOIC over 5 years, that's based on a 72% pro rata split. So those numbers go up if you choose to invest $250,000 or more, and you get 20 free stays per year. Now, all of those numbers I just said are not legally binding because this is governed by Regulation D, Rule 506C. And if that sounded like a bad sales pitch, I would much rather be honest and direct. I do not intend to give you sales pitches. I want you to do your own due diligence. I want you to do your own market analysis. This presentation is for information, education, and hopefully some entertainment value, but the actual offering is governed by subscription documents, private placement memorandum, and if you come through the fund, a deal disclosure. Anything I say through these videos is superseded by what is in those documents. So we encourage you to seek your own advisors for tax implications, legal implications, financial advice, all of that stuff that you want. You need to seek your own advice. But again, this is the offer is made through the subscription documents under Regulation D, Rule 506C of the tax code. 7 markets, 1 filter. Why do we start with market analysis? Because the top 3 most important things in real estate is location, location, location. As I go through these properties, I want you to be asking the questions. Why do people want to be going to these destinations? Why do I think people will be going to these destinations for at least the next 5 years or longer? If people have chosen to go to these destinations, why on earth would they choose our property? Why would they choose a property run by the Destinations Deal and Collective Destinations versus just any old other short-term rental Airbnb that they can find on any of the websites? I pulled a lot of my data from Rabbu, RABBU.com for the U.S. markets, and AIR, ROI, AIRROI.com for the international properties. And those are listed there at the top of the screen if you're watching closed captions or you're furiously trying to write that down. Rabbu.com for the U.S. properties, AIR, ROI for the international properties. Folks, I'm going to say this if you're not accustomed to short-term rentals, we use the hotel dynamic pricing model. That means our average daily rates can change daily. So if the numbers that I show here are different when you go to do your market analysis, that should be considered a good thing. Because if you're looking at an apartment, the rents, they don't change that much day to day, month to month. Maybe summer to winter they change, but we are running a business. We are running these like a hotel. And that means as occupancy goes up, our prices go up. Because we want to maximize our profit, we want to give our guests a wonderful experience for the dollar that they are paying, but we also want to give our investors the maximum cash on cash and equity distributions that we possibly can. All right. Our properties are in Waikoloa Beach, Hawaii, not Waikoloa Village. Our property is in Mill Creek, Utah. It's a suburb of the Salt Lake City market. Southern Utah Glamping, Fort Gibson Lake, Playa del Carmen, Tulum. Both of those are in the Riviera Maya in southeastern Mexico. And Samaná of the Dominican Republic. Let's jump into Waikoloa Beach. Folks, Waikoloa Beach does not have room for any more building. There is not going to be a resort that pops up, a new condominium complex that pops up. You will see that for many of the properties in our portfolio, and that is a key for short-term rental success. If you are going to buy your own property, look for a property that has limited competition because it's in an area that's already built up. There was a big company that wanted to build, I guess the slide here says 300 more homes. They only got 50 because the geography is done. Now, there is lots of building going on up at Waikoloa Village, but not down on Waikoloa Beach. Hawaii tourism is rocking. It does have its seasonality, but our Ohana Haven property is one of the most stable year-round of any in the portfolio, and it is the anchor property that brings in fantastic profits. Now, when I looked at Rabu for the size and the location of our property, they guesstimated that year-round revenue would be at about $36,000. Folks, we're doing almost double that. And the reason we're doing almost double that is because specifically of this location and how near it is to the beach and how near it is to shopping, how near it is to golf, and how near it is to all the different things of why people come to Waikoloa Beach, but also because of the way Deanna has decorated and curated each of our properties. If you look at the pictures of the destinations deal, of the collective destination, if you look at the pictures of our properties and compare them to just the average market Airbnb, ours looks like this beautiful, wonderful property in comparison, and it is. Bijan and I have visited many of these properties. We have seen them in person, and they are as beautiful as you see in the pictures. And by the way, these are not just stock videos or pictures that I grabbed off of the best picture sites or whatever. These are actual pictures of our properties, and they can be your properties too. Pictures of the properties or of the nearby attractions, beaches, ski resorts, things like that. So, why Waikoloa Beach? Maui and Oahu in Hawaii are getting the reputation of being a little bit chaotic, a little bit touristic. And so people that are looking more of that authentic Hawaiian experience, a little bit quieter, a little bit lower key, are going to come to Waikoloa Beach. There is a black sand beach nearby, and that is they're incredibly unique. And yeah, there's one nearby our condo in Waikoloa Beach. There is wonderful shopping nearby. There's beautiful restaurants nearby because people like to eat. There is movie theaters if you're worried about getting rained out, or maybe you got kids, maybe you like movies, whatever. There's civilization close by where you can go do your shopping, your restaurants, your movie theaters. There's golfing nearby. Hawaii is known for their golfing. There's beautiful snorkeling. Folks, if you're snorkeling or scuba diving expert, you already know that Hawaii has different fish than the Caribbean and different than just about anywhere else that you're going to see. So people love going scuba diving and snorkeling in Hawaii because the fish and the wildlife, it's different than you're going to see anywhere else. And that's a big reason people go to our resort. Paddleboarding, you see all the stuff on there. Stargazing, petroglyphs, Lava Lava Beach Club. If you want ultra luxury sand service to the sand, sipping your umbrella drinks, this place has got it all. It's a wonderful location, and Deanna has wonderful operations. If I haven't already said it in this video, Deanna had, last time I checked, it was 784 reviews with 4.9 stars. Okay, I'm 15 minutes in. I'm going to go faster, so this is not a 45-minute video like my last attempt. Salt Lake City, Utah. Our toasted marshmallow is a duplex up in Mill Creek, which is closer to the mountains of Salt Lake City. I've been to Salt Lake City. It is a beautiful town with a really, really neat downtown area, a ginormous mall with, I think it was about 3 or 4 blocks of shopping. There's a ginormous food court with your fast food restaurant, something for every kid, but there's also an area with nice sit down restaurants. They have an enormous convention center with beautiful hotels near that to draw a crowd. But if you're looking for a little bit more quieter experience, like many Airbnb and Vrbo frequenters do, they don't want the busy hotel. They want the quiet experience. They want the neighborhood. Beautiful. That's where we're at. Now, when I went to Rabu, they guessed that our property would be bringing in about $44,000 a year. We're running about 15% higher than that. Why? I'm going to show you a magic piece about the location of the toasted marshmallow next slide. But because Deanna has amazing operations, she has beautiful decorations. And so when you look at our properties next to the other properties on Airbnb or Vrbo, ours pop. Not to mention the tremendous number of 5-star reviews and the superhost status that Deanna has. Salt Lake City, the Mill Creek property, toasted marshmallow, does have its peak periods in ski season in February, March, which many times runs into April, and also the summer periods where people like the outdoorsy stuff, July and August. But it's pretty steady year round compared to many other short-term rental properties that I have been pitched. And I'm like, y'all are going to crush it in 3 months. How are you going to survive the other 9 months? And they don't know. That's the beautiful part of the portfolio. When some of these properties are rocking, the others are in their off period. And then when those are rocking, the others, and it just evens out over the course of the portfolio. All right. Here's a beautiful part that I love about our Mill Creek property. It's 1 block from a hospital. So all of the destination stuff about Salt Lake City, snow skiing in the morning, water skiing in the afternoon, or skiing in the morning, golfing in the afternoon, whether you want to ride your bike out on the salt flats, which are nearby, whether you want hiking, horseback riding, 4-wheel driving, I think I said snow skiing, boating, and all the water activities, it's all in the one spot. Or if you need to visit family and friends that are in the hospital, we got a beautiful place to stay 1 block away. In fact, we had a nurse that rented out one of our units for many, many months, maybe a year or more. So we are right next to a hospital. We're near ski resorts. We are near Salt Lake City downtown, and it is a quiet residential street. It's an amazing, beautiful property. Do your own market analysis. Do not take my word for it. That's the reason I'm telling you all this, so you can go learn what to look for. All right. Glamping, folks, it's not a trend anymore. It's not a fashion thing. It's not a one-time thing that's coming and then it's going to be going. And the reason I say that is that big industry has been sinking lots and lots and lots and lots of money into it. Marriott is in the glamping resort. Hyatt is coming in. Hilton is entering the glamping market. And guess what? We already have the magical properties. That's why it's so important that we have our portfolio, that we have the way we have curated it now, because of the magical locations where competition cannot spring up. We're not only near destinations, but the properties themselves can become an experience all of themselves. And the market, the industry, it's growing, and we are already in it. So if you're not already in it, the entry market is going to be tough, and we are in it. The glamping market was $3.8 billion in 2025, projected at $7.9 billion in 2033. Invest in that, get a piece of that in the destinations deal. There was a nearby resort, and at one point was getting $1,000 a night for their cabins. And do your own market research. Remember when I told you about seasonality? Remember when I told you about dynamic pricing models? When I did my market analysis for this specific presentation, I saw $847 was the highest that someone was getting nearby. When you do your market analysis, you may see $100 or $200, $300 a night. Be sure those are glamping resorts and not just someone's trailer out in the woods. Nothing wrong with the trailer out in the woods, but we have been rezoned for cabins, and we are anticipating upper 3 digits, maybe even getting into the 4 digits per night for what we're building. Do the market analysis, look at our data room, verify those numbers for yourself. Now, our location magic is we are in an area called the Golden Triangle. If you look on a map, you'll see Zion National Park to the southwest, Brian Head Ski Resort up to the north, and Bryce Canyon National Park off to the east. We're about 45 minutes, somewhere between 45 minutes to each of those. Now, my AI said 90 minutes, so I'm going to say less than an hour and a half to about 11 or 12 different attractions that people want to go visit for hiking, four-wheel driving, ATVing, horseback riding, mountain biking, whatever floats your boat. Well, you're not floating many boats out in here. That was for Salt Lake City. But whatever drives you ride, it's nearby. So we anticipate people using our glamping resort as a base camp to go and visit all these other wonderful attractions. Now, we will have trails and plenty of stuff for people to do at our glamping resort. I believe it's 123 acres in the Golden Triangle. We got spring, I think singular. We got a creek. We got mountains. We got views. We got sunsets. We got trees. We got stargazing. If you want to see the Milky Way with a naked eye and have that experience, I don't know how to describe it. If you never felt small and you want to feel small, if you want to feel the glory of our creator, of our universe, it is a beautiful and mind-expanding experience. Come to the glamping resort for free if you're an investor and see the Milky Way with a naked eye. This one is under construction. We're doing the horizontal construction right now. It is August 2026 when I'm recording this video. Okay, I got to go faster. Moving on to Fort Gibson Lake. Across the lake there on the horizon is a state park. Sequoia State Park and Sequoia Bay State Park sit directly across the lake from our location. That means you're not going to have a city or a sewer or a recycling, trash heap built across the lake from where these properties sit right now. When I did my comparisons, I found 11 comparable properties within about 19 miles. Okay, there's not a lot of comparable properties, which means there's not a lot of competition for the product that we are offering. So when you do your own market analysis on Rabu, notice there's only about 3 or 4 properties like ours on Fort Gibson Lake. The others are on lakes and streams nearby. Yes, our peak period is June through August. We have 2 properties side by side where people generally rent both for big events like reunions, retreats. I believe we were booked every single weekend for all of 2026. People have had weddings here as well. We're about 50 miles from Tulsa. I will let you know that as of August 2026, when I'm recording this, these properties are up for sale and under contract. So we own them 50-50 with a third party. That'll be in the underwriting video. But we might be selling them soon, and that'll move. The proceeds of that will be spent to accelerate the glamping resort. Just want to be clear. We may buy out our 50-50 partner, and we may maintain them in the portfolio. So again, this is why you got to book the meeting with us. You got to know what's up to speed, where we are at the time. So book that meeting and have that preliminary conversation. We'll bring you up to speed. All right, moving on to the Riviera Maya in Mexico. Mexico in the 1970s started building up Cancun. Cancun is a wild party area right now, and people are seeking a little bit more solace to the south. And so Mexico has continued developing to the south Playa del Carmen is about in the middle of the Riviera Maya. Tulum is to the south, and they just opened a new airport to the south of Tulum. That is an indication of how much travel comes into the Riviera Maya. It is always the number one U.S. international destination. So if you like wild and crazy parties, Cancun may be for you. If you like a little bit more quiet, but still want lots of shopping and restaurants and nature, Playa del Carmen or Tulum may be for you. Now, Playa del Carmen's got a very awesome feature in it, and that it is the ferry point, and we are very close to that ferry point to Cozumel. Cozumel you may have heard of because it is an international scuba diving location and snorkeling location as well. The reason people love Cozumel for both snorkeling and scuba diving is because it's got a very unique in the world experience called drift diving. So most people that scuba dive, they get their tanks, they go down 50 feet, whatever it is, they swim around and they see lots of cool stuff. But when you swim around, you breathe more air and you go through your tank faster. When you drift dive or current dive, you jump out of the boat, you go down, but you don't swim. You let the current just take you by the nature and the scenery, and the less you move, the longer you can stay down. And so the boat picks you up at the destination, and that's why you need to have follow your dive master, have your certification. Scuba diving can be dangerous. Know what you're doing, but people love this once in a lifetime experience, and they travel to Playa del Carmen in order to get to Cozumel to experience it. And our condo has a beautiful location for you to do that. Let's see, 2026. AI says that it was Quintana Roo, that's the state of Mexico that we're in, was a record spring break destination. So the market is down. Sounds like it's coming back with that 2026 spring break record experience. But want to let you know that occupancy is down right now in this area, but average daily rates are up. So it's a bit of an offset. Some people have asked me, like, Brad, isn't Playa del Carmen in Tulum, isn't it down right now? And my answer is yes, it is down right now. But this is an area that has been growing for over 50 years. If you think that the growth has stopped, there's a lot of institutional hotels and chains that have the other side. And so in investing, you buy low and you sell high. So this may be the best buying experience for the next 10, 15, 20 years, or the best buying opportunity. And that's why we're in. So more about market analysis on Playa del Carmen. We are 1 block from the beach. We're 5 minutes from an area called Fifth Avenue. And it's, is it 2 kilometers? About 2 kilometers, it might be 2 miles. And I know those are wildly different distances, but a ginormous area of walking, shopping, nightlife, restaurants, all walking distance from our condo. I already mentioned it's very close to the ferry to get to Cozumel. And Playa del Carmen is a break from the Cancun chaos. So it's great for families, couples, people that want a little bit less party experience, a little bit more quiet. Now, there's plenty to do. It's not boring, but yeah, you're going to have a bunch of less of the alcohol drinking chaos of Cancun and more of that luxury destination experience. All right, moving on to Tulum. Cenotes are a magical experience. I took this actual photo with my cell phone, and if it looks like a freshwater swimming area in an underground cave, it's because that's exactly what a cenote is. This, again, like so many of these properties, it's one of the only places in the world to experience cenotes is in Tulum. A cenote is a freshwater spring where the top of the cave has sunken in, it's fallen in. So some places like this one, this is La Gran Cenote. It's about 4 minutes from La Casa Mariposa, which is the name of the three-story townhouse um, in Tulum. And La Gran Cenote is where the top has caved in. There's actually two that are linked, so you can swim from one to the other. But you got beautiful sunshine, you got beautiful fresh spring water. There are very unique fish in there. There's a bunch of turtles. No, they don't bite. They leave you alone. It's just a magical experience, and it's one of the only places in the world where you can experience it. And there's a bunch. My wife and I went to some other cenotes. There's one, I forget the name of it, but if you invest and you want me to find it, I'll find it for you. But there's a little hole in the ground, and the guide says, go down the ladder. And you go down the ladder into this cave. And down there are these beautiful underwater swimming pools. And yes, you're wearing a life vest, and you do this like swimming hiking experience. And it's only like 10 or 15 minutes. It's not uh, hard or difficult at all. But the guide's telling you about some of the ancient native rituals that they would do down in these caves. And you swim, and then you walk, and you swim, and you walk, and you go through many of the different pools. And it is a beautiful and wonderful experience. Go to Tulum, invest in the property. Go to Tulum, stay in that place for free because you're an investor. Experience the cenotes. It is mind blowing. All right. Tulum is a little bit further to the south than Playa del Carmen. There is a Tulum airport about 45 minutes south of the property. It's in that same kind of market condition as Playa del Carmen. I want you to be aware. Occupancy is down, but average daily rates are up. So we think it's a wonderful time to be buying and to be in that area. We have a 3-bedroom property. As you can see, the decoration, it is beautifully decorated. It is so luxury minded. There's a private little pool out there in the back. It is fantastic. It is in a beautiful condominium type townhouse resort area. There is security up front, so have your cell phone. There is a QR code. The security, when we went through, there is a QR code that you get from the operator of collection destinations, and you show your QR code. They scan it, and then they tell you how to get to La Casa Mariposa. There's a beautiful pool. There's a wonderful gym. There's a kids' playground, basketball court. This says there's a theater, but the place is huge. We didn't find the theater. We did find a yoga room that was enormous. It's beautiful for families, for longer stays, or again, my wife and I went down there. We had a beautiful couple of nights. There's a rooftop terrace where you can see all across Tulum. It is a beautiful, wonderful experience. All right, last property. I'm almost there. And yeah, I am going to get this in under 45 minutes, folks, but there is so much that you need to know about how wonderful these markets are. And I want you to do your market analysis. Please do not take my word for it. I do not want this to be a sales pitch. I want you to do your due diligence and to understand even more of why Bijan and I put our own money in before we even formed our fund. And I'm waiting for another distribution. And if I can get more money into this before it's finished, I absolutely will do that. Okay, TripAdvisor named the Dominican the #1 Caribbean destination. I believe that was in 2024. And that is keeps going to 2026, called the best of the best list. Las Galeras is an area in the Dominican. It's an up-and-coming area. Again, buy low, sell high. We are getting in first. And it's on a resort. We built a resort on a peninsula, folks. Peninsula mean there is limited space for competitors. We have an 11-villa resort, and it's on the side of a mountain. So every cabin, every villa has a view. This is the view from our restaurant, which is towards the top of the mountain. Bijan went there not too long ago. He said it is absolutely as beautiful as the pictures. We have more pictures in the data room. Check that out. Folks, this is important. We opened this resort in July of 2025, so it's still in the stabilization phase. But TripAdvisor gave us the Traveler's Choice Award, which they give to the top 1% of their listings worldwide. And that's based on verified guest reviews. There's a lot of properties out there that win awards that they can purchase. Okay. I get the emails all the time. Hey, you won this award. And I'm like, hey, cool. What award is it? Well, you can advertise this. We'll give you our official badge and seal if you pay us $500, if you pay us $2,000, sometimes even more. This one you cannot buy. And remember when I told you Deanna had 784 reviews with 4.9 stars? That's what we're talking about. Award winning, and not the type of awards that you can buy. All right. This is a view from a drone picture, but showing you that every villa has a view. A lot of these villas have little balconies, so you can sit on your balcony and enjoy a glass of wine. And you can look at whales in Samana Bay, January through March, which is why a lot of people want to come to Samana Bay to where our resort is, because they want to do whale watching in the Caribbean. They don't want to go to Alaska and freeze to look at whales. I already mentioned it's on a peninsula, so there's limited opportunities for competitors. We are already positioned. We are already operating. We are already booking. Oh, we just had our first wedding at our resort. And we have been open a year, but just a year, a little bit over. Folks, the people that booked the wedding own a hotel in the Dominican. They own their own hotel in the Dominican Republic, but they still chose Araya, our hotel, our resort, for their wedding. That's how beautiful Araya is. It's well respected in the community. Love this place. Every villa has its own ocean hillside view. Okay, things to do near our area. Why would people come to Samana Bay instead of Punta Cana? There have been stories, and a lot of these stories may not be true, but that if you're going to Punta Cana, the recommendation is to go to the resort and stay in the resort. I'll leave it at that. You do your own research if you're going to travel and enjoy Punta Cana. We are out in Las Galeras near Samana Bay. Bijan just went there with he and his wife. We got zip lining nearby. There is horseback riding on the beach nearby. We have had guests that go in the off-peak period, and they go to the beach, and they say they have the entire beach all to themselves. If you want a little bit more adrenaline, Bijan and I are adrenaline junkies. He and his wife did a dune buggy experience. And have you ever seen the ATVs tours? And they're all like bumper to bumper. And you're like, I can walk faster than that. That does not look like fun, getting sand kicked up in my face at 10 miles an hour. Well, I can't walk that fast, but you know what I'm saying. Bijan said that they were doing like 50 miles an hour, and they were screaming down the beach. Different beach than the one you go to swim at. But the point is, there is a lot of fun things to do. There's quiet beaches, there's activities, there's zip lining, there's hanging out at our pool, there's booking spas at our resort. Yeah, at our resort. There's a ginormous yoga hut right there on the mountainside. Come relax. Whether you want to relax your adventure, there's a lot to do at Araya. So do your own due diligence. All right. I'm faster than 45 minutes, but not by much. There's just a lot to know about the market analysis. This is the longest video in the 5 by far, even though I have not recorded all the rest of them yet. But location, 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 folks. The number one most important thing in real estate is that market analysis. The second most important thing I'm just going to share with you, in my opinion, is the operator. That'll be in the next video. So get to know myself, get to know Bijan, get to know Deanna. And the next step for you is to book a call, scan that QR code, or go to indhrs.com/contact, or go ahead and watch the other videos. Watch U for underwriting, R for risk mitigation, A for alignment, L for legal. But book a call. Let us get to know you. You get to know us, and let's make sure this is a right match for you. And let you know how you can get started and enjoying these properties, and also getting into this investment before we fill up the range. Okay, folks, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching this video, and see you on the next one. Book that call. Looking forward to meeting you. And as always, folks, invest on logic, not on hope. God bless you.